Welcome into Rice-Eccles Stadium, the side of the 4A semifinals. Dusty Litzter and Dane Stewart of Deseret News Rewind with you here. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, your orthopedic specialty hospital, and also the Utah Army National Guard. Our matchup in this one, Dane, the Dixie Flyers and the Park City Miners.
Dusty, this should be a really interesting game between a couple of region champions. Park City, the co-region champ out of Region 11. Meanwhile, Dixie, the lone region champ, unshared, undisputed, out of Region 9. And a couple teams that have been playing really good football over the last 10 or so weeks.
It'll be interesting to watch how this one plays out tonight as Park City comes in with a big win over Skyview as we are underway in the 4A semis. And on the return for Park City's number 21, Jet Reed. And Jet gets to the 25-yard line, and that's where we'll get a chance to see this Park City team who is coming off a huge upset, going up to Skyview, getting a win at Smithfield, knocking out Mason Falsov in the process, and then taking care of the Bobcats in overtime. So a great win for the Miners to watch them coming out tonight to take on Dixie.
No, you're right. And, you know, the interesting thing, not a lot of people know a lot about these Park City Miners. You mentioned the big wins they had, Dusty, but they've got a good quarterback in Jack Skidmore. He's thrown for just shy of 1,400 yards, but 20 touchdowns, only 4 picks. When he completes more than 50% of his passes, they're 5-0.
This team has not lost since the end of September. As we open up the first play of the game, keeping it on the ground. And on the carry for Park City is Brady Bauman.
You mentioned the run there on, Dusty. They lost to Stansbury. It was their lone region loss. Ended up tying the Stallions for Region 11. But outside of that, they've won 9 of their last 10. That was their only one that they dropped. And it's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and largely due to that run game.
Started 0-2 on the season. They went on a nice run to that loss to Stansbury. Is on 2nd down and 4. The only gain a yard there on the carry was Grant Warner. And but after that loss, they opened up losses to Heber and Logan. Knocked off South Summit for the first time in a number of years. Beat Payson, beat Ben Lomond, beat Bonneville. Then lost to Stansbury, but then beat Ogden Tooele and then even Ridgeline. To close out the year. So up to the line comes Jack Skidmore on 3rd down and 3. Skidmore to throw, has time over the middle, intercepted. Going the other way with Tyson Miller, and the Flyers get the first big play, and it comes on defense.
I think it was actually Nate Mahi who came up with the interception. I thought it was number 3. Was it 3 or 4?
I had number 4.
Have another look at this, and it was 4. Good eyes there, Dusty. It was Miller with the pick. Fantastic job. Both of these defenses, Dusty, have more interceptions than sacks. So I don't know that you're going to see a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, a lot of coverage today. And for the Dixie Flyers, it works out in their favor early on with the interception by Miller.
Had a penalty on the return, which backs up Dixie to the 47-yard line. So out comes the Dixie Flyers for their first possession. Reggie Graff, the quarterback, 6'1" junior, taking over Hobbs Nyberg on a team that was so good a year ago individually, as it's Mahi on the fly sweep. And Mahi gets to the 40-yard line. Nice gain on 1st down. And it'll bring up 2nd down and manageable.
You know, so much about offense these days is getting the ball in the hands of your athletes. And Mahi on that fly sweep, he's one of their leading receivers. Dusty leads the team statistically in receiving yards and able to pick up 7 yards on that 1st down run.
Coach Monkers making his second trip and his second tenure at Dixie, longtime Fremont coach. Won a state championship here at Dixie back in 2012, if I remember the date right in my head. But this is a team, Dane, that when you look at Dixie, that this is what Coach Monkers likes to do. He's on his way back. This team a year ago I thought was going to win the 4A state championship, well, at least go challenge Orem for that matter, before losing to Mountain Crest when Hobbs Nyberg got hurt. But he told us the story that he brought them in. We asked him about traveling up here, playing in the cold, and he's like, look, I took them all in my office. I have a picture of when we won the state championship. He goes, it was a blizzard. He's like, I told them, there is no such thing as too cold. It's not going to snow. It won't be that windy on the field. It's enclosed. Like, we're going to go play. But right now, they are going backwards on their own volition, erasing the Mahi run with 2 dead ball penalties, backing them up to 2nd down and 13.
You know, I mean, that's easy to say. It's harder to stop the shivering when you're actually out in it, right? I mean, I'm one to speak, and I'm just kidding. They're not false starting because of shivering, but it's another thing to play in it. And at the end of the day, you're still dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. And, I mean, you're right, but there is a mental battle. And if you're Dixie, I mean, you look at recent years and some of the shortcomings in state tournaments, and part of me wonders how much effect that could potentially have.
Up the seam to Mahi, and no, he doesn't pull it in.
Boy, he had it, and Jack McGee was there in coverage and was able to break it loose as Mahi was going to the turf. A good defensive play made by the seniors. We have another look at it. This is a great ball thrown by Graff, and one that Mahi, you can see his frustration. He didn't come up with it, but that's just defended well by Jack McGee.
Well, you go back to 2009, mention it. Semifinals, lost semifinal to Springville. We'll go through this in a minute here. 3rd down and 13 after that incomplete pass. Trips at the top of the screen, one receiver near side. Going deep once again in the double coverage and nearly intercepted, incomplete. Right there, nearly picking that one off is Jet Reed. And it's 4th down, and the punting unit will come on for Coach Monkers.
I'm not sure if Graff is treating this kind of like a punt. I mean, he is locked in. You see, he doesn't look off anybody throwing into double coverage. This is a throw that has a very low likelihood of success, and it leads to the punt.
Gets off a nice spiraling kick, and they'll be taken inside the 20-yard line. They're wanting kick interference, but I don't think you have any issues there as Mark McCurdy pulled that one in at the 19. But these are 2 teams who met a year ago in the state tournament, 1st-round matchup, and it was a Dixie Flyer win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very different Dixie team than that team last year. I mean, we mentioned it, Graff, the starting quarterback, also graduated a good receiver, good running back. Banuelos played a little bit last year in that offense for Dixie, but has had much more impact this year. It's a different unit, but still a very experienced and talented one for Dixie.
So out comes Skidmore and the Miners, their 2nd possession, and here's on the carry, that was Grant Warner. And Warner gets 9 on 1st down to the 27-yard line.
Nice carry that time for Warner. Did you see him go straight ahead?
You talk about Skidmore on the year, and I know you go through stats. 20 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He threw for just over, 1,500 yards.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic when you look at it. And really, I mean, this is one of those where, talking with the staff before the game, talked about, we'll take some deep shots, but we're a running team. And, part of that helps to deal with some of the, ball control, game tempo control, as well as, helping to eat up some of the clock. And when you're playing a team like Dixie that can put points on the board and in a hurry, I would expect to see a lot of running and run first today for the Miners.
Well, both knew, Coach Monkers knew that they're going to try to play ball control, and they have to get him out of it. And it's 3rd down and 4. Skidmore can run, and then throws into the flat, and it's incomplete. Great job to keep his eyes downfield. He had a receiver, threw it behind him just a little bit, and the intended receiver is Jack McGee, and he could not haul it in. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, sometimes you got to help out your quarterback, and this is one that you need to make this catch. I mean, you see Skidmore rolling, and, that one's right in the hands. And if you're Evan Pointer, I think it was the tight end Pointer, you got to make that grab and help your quarterback out, move the sticks, keep the offense on the field. Instead, looks like they'll have to punt.
Interesting punt formation. They're going to fake it, And he's not going to be able to get this thing off. Skidmore didn't have a shot, didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. And the opening 2 possessions, an interception, and now a turnover on downs, a short field for the Flyers.
Boy, I don't get this one. I mean, he's far enough back that he can kick it, but doesn't. I mean, you see he pulls up immediately like he's going to throw it, and Dixie had it covered. It looked like he wanted to go to Bauman, number 10 there at the bottom of the screen, but it's covered. There's nowhere else to go. You got to kick that ball away.
That looked like a fake from Jump Street.
Yeah.
So out comes Reggie Graff and the Flyers. That's Mahi in motion. Give up the middle and nothing doing. Nice job by that minor front. Coming up and getting the stop is number 8, Chase Johansson. And it is a gain of 1.
We talk about the weather. I mean, you look down on the field and even up where we're at, we are outside, but not a lot of wind here. But it is cold, and both quarterbacks have yet to throw a completion. We're almost midway through this first quarter. It is going to be a ground and pound game. Coming down to the offensive and defensive lines, watch those battles along the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
2-by-2 here. They go fly sweep. A little bit of room, and Tyson Miller gets to the 16-yard line. That'll be 3rd down and 4.
We've seen a couple times those fly sweeps and trying to get some matchups on the outside. They've both gone for decent gains. But boy, it'd be helpful for Dixie right now, gifted with great field position, to be able to convert this 3rd down.
Travis Muir, the near side receiver. And there goes zone read. And keeping it was Graff, but he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. That was actually a pretty good job there by Graff, but it'll be 4th down for the Flyers, and looks like they're going to go for it.
Great job scouting here by Park City. A late shift in the defense to come over, recognizing the opportunity for a zone read play there. They took away the back. Pretty easy then to take care of the quarterback, and the Park City defense here with a chance to bail out the offense.
Trips to the top of the screen. Muir is the near side receiver. Right up the gut, and I don't think he got there.
Nope, he's short.
Short by a yard. Thought they'd maybe catch him off guard, and they go straight to Weston Banuelos, and he is about a yard shy.
Again, you see they bring a linebacker over, bringing pressure from the top, I think from Pointer, going to take away the run from Graff. And then you know you just got to deal with the back, and a great job there by Bauman coming up to make the tackle to stop him short.
So back-to-back drives on end on turnover on downs here in the ball game. So out comes Park City. First drive ended in interception. Second was a turnover on downs. But their defense has done a nice job on this high-powered Dixie offense. And in the Wildcat is McCurdy. He goes far side and nothing doing. Now flags come flying in. Any official on the field that has a flag has thrown it. And we'll have to sort this one out. I don't have any feel for what that one was for.
I'm not sure if it was for a hurdle. Because it looked like on the play that McCurdy maybe jumped over a player. Oh, no, a hold.
Okay. And I think Dixie... They're asking if they wanted to take it, and I don't know why you wouldn't. I guess they lost a couple yards on the play. And you just take the result of the play. Marked at the 6-yard line. All right, so I don't know what the conversation was. So
maybe they just haven't seen each other in a long time.
I guess so. So right? Half the distance to the goal to put them back. It is 1st and 18. They go fly sweep near side, and nice job of that Dixie defense. Ball came out late. So on the carry was Bauman. But it'll be 2nd down and long. But you saw there, he was already on the ground before that ball popped out. 4 minutes and 50 seconds on a rolling clock in the first quarter. Here are the 4A semifinal. winner takes on the winner of the defending champion Orem and Pineview. Is back to the Wildcat, Mark McCurdy in. McCurdy going to pull up and throw. He's got a wide open man, and the catch is made. Across midfield, and a big gain for Evan Pointer. 1st and 10 Miners at the Dixie 48.
How about a 42-yard reception to get things going in the air for Park City? Hey, sometimes you just got to throw care to the wind, right? And when you're playing a Dixie team, and probably most people's mind a heavily favored Dixie team, just give it a sling. Nice job that time by Park City.
And that opens some things up. Nice run from Bauman. And Bauman has a first down to the 37-yard line. We'll move the chains once again for Park City. It's amazing what happens when you have a big play and how it opens things up.
This formation is so interesting, Dusty. They just got one guard to the left of the ball. Everybody else on the right side. I mean, this is like the power of powers. They've ran out of it a couple of times. Dixie's done a pretty good job aligning and shutting it down.
It's almost the pre-snap student body play that USC used to run. That was the famous 70s play, student body right, student body left. McCurdy at the top of the screen. Play action, pressure coming. Skidmore won't get away. Down he goes. Getting back there initially was Jackson Reyes. And a nice job of getting to him and bringing down Skidmore. It'll be 3rd down and long, 3rd and 16.
Boy, and I thought that Skidmore nearly had a shot to get out of it. See the pressure coming from the top of the screen, and man, the line just gets turned around. I mean, it looks like pressure's coming, and the tackle just completely missed it. Allowed Jackson Reyes to come and pick up the sack.
Never turn your back on a defender on the edge.
Right?
Yeah, there's just a mistake there, a little brain cramp. And now we have a timeout. Timeout, Park City. We'll take it with them. 2:34 remaining in the first quarter. You're watching the 4A semifinal commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Third down and 16 out of the timeout for Park City. Skidmore has time, going deep. And just overthrows Mark McCurdy, his #1 target. And it's 4th down, and the punting unit will come on. But for the first time tonight, Park City seemingly has flipped field position.
How about this, Dusty? I mean, we're 6 minutes in, so I know the sample size is small. The only pass that's been completed was not thrown by a quarterback.
That's right, and it was on that drive, Mark McCurdy to Evan Pointer. So same formation that we saw before, kind of a deep shotgun punt formation here. Little pooch kick. Will be taken at the 8-yard line by Mahi, and Mahi is dropped quickly by Jet Reed. And it'll be the longest field tonight for Dixie. as it will start from their own 11-yard line. And we had an illegal formation on Park City, and see if Dixie will re-kick here. No, they'll take it from the end of the.
No, they're going to re-kick
no,
it.
they're going to kick it. They want Mahi.
Yeah, so they brought a man across the formation. I'm assuming that had something to do with it. Either needed to get to the line and didn't, or shouldn't have been on the line and was.
Or that the end man on this near side wasn't on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
I mean, right now you could argue they've only got 6. I mean, look at the top there.
And not only do they re-kick it, McCurdy kicks it, and it just crawls into the end zone. So bring it out to the 20-yard line. So about 6s. So that brings out Reggie Graff in the offense. And Dana talked about Dixie since that championship in 2012 with Coach Monkers. 2013, lost in the semifinals to Desert Hills 21-14. Then beat Hurricane in 2014 in the championship game. Lost in the final to Logan in 2015. Got the semis in 2016. Lost in the quarters last year. Coach Monkers went and really changed. It's probably not that it was ever really down at Dixie. As Reggie Graff fires to the outside, the catch is made, and quickly out of bounds goes Talalele Umi, and it is 2nd down and 6.
Like this throw here for Dixie. Something short, something protected. You see that out route, top of the screen. And a nice job of giving a good, easy throw for Reggie Graff to try to get settled in.
Graff fires complete. And that is a Flyer 1st down. On the reception is Josh Kaiser. Move the change, a fresh set of downs for the Flyers.
Good route here from Kaiser, do you think? Kaiser? Anyway, you see him run up, turn around, past the sticks. A nice tackle made there by Jet Reed. But Kaiser does a nice job to find some space and give a good target for Graff.
That's Mahi in motion. Set up a screen to Mahi. He shakes one, gets hit from behind to the 40-yard line, a gain of 2.
Pretty well defended there by Park City. As you have another look, and Mahi just hanging out there. Missed the block, and then other Miners coming to help bring down Mahi for a short loss.
Schweitzer in motion, rolling near side. Graff now fires, incomplete. Left-hander trying to throw it back that way. Couldn't quite get that ball to Schweitzer.
Pressure from behind and pressure right in front of him. See, Park City only bringing 3, and then a late coming to account for Graff. Forces an early throw. Had the man open, but it would take a really accurate throw to be able to complete that one.
Yeah, Schweitzer needs to move with his left-handed quarterback when he sees him rolling. Come help him out. That's a hard throw to get that ball back to him without it being picked off. 46 seconds left in the first quarter, 3rd down and 8. Graff fires, and he got it through there. Impressive. That ball got to Josh Kaiser, and it is a 1st down inside of Miner territory to the 43-yard line.
This time, Jet Reed sells out, trying to deflect this ball away. See Graff locked in the whole time. It's a small window, but that time Reed just misses it. And it's a big gain for Dixie as they cross the 50.
He did everything there. Go long arm, just didn't get cloth on the jersey.
Yep.
And with these super snug jerseys, that's hard to do. Draw play and nicely read and then blown up. Great job by the Miners, number 35. We have a 35 on the roster. Maybe I misread the number here.
55 maybe. Might have been James Williams.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. At the end of one, it's Dixie 0, Park City 0. You're watching the 2018 4A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com with commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Start of the second quarter. The Miners start inside of Miner territory at the 45-yard line. Second down and 12. Graff fires near side to Mahi. Gets a nice block. Mahi inside the 35. Inside the 30, spun out of bounds. Gets to the 28-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Miners.
And right now, Dixie's starting to establish a rhythm. You see Mahi comes around. No one accounts for him. Good blocking up front. And a nice run after the catch that time by Mahi.
Stay in this 2-by-2 formation. That is Schweitzer in motion. Throw out to Schweitzer. And Schweitzer has the first down still going. And Schweitzer gets to the 18-yard line. And will move the sticks once again for the Flyers.
Similar looking play here for Dixie. In fact, the same play. They just invert it. Bring Schweitzer in motion. Get numbers on that far side. Able to pick up another first down.
Work on the ground this time, and that is Banuelos. And Banuelos gets to the 15. So second down and 7 for Dixie. Only loss on the year was the opening game. They were up against Springville and lost that game. They were up in the last 3 minutes. Multiple scores, lost 26-21. Fake the give and then throw it outside. I believe that was Banuelos once, or pardon me, that was Schweitzer.
Yep. And I think this is going to be an offside.
Well, if it's post-snap, it's got to be a legal formation or legal shift. If it's not a hold or something.
Well, I was thinking it was on the defense.
Oh, okay.
Offside.
Well, offside is a dead ball penalty now. Yeah, any immediate flag after snap
yeah,
now.
You're right.
Yeah, it has to be shift or formation, which was formation. Which I wish we bring back the post-snap offside so high school quarterbacks had more free plays. But that's just wishful thinking. Second down and 12 after the penalty. And Graff skips that one in there, incomplete. And it'll be third down and 12.
Graff starting to settle in nicely. This time the throw just not enough behind it. Skips it into the turf. But he's had a couple of throws, Dusty, and largely they've been relatively short throws where athletes have been able to make moves after the catch to get down the field. But hey, when you're playing in conditions, sometimes you gotta call a game to that.
Timeout on the field. 10:21 left in the half. Tied at 0. 3rd down and 12 when we come back. Out of the timeout, 3rd down and 12. We saw 2-down territory here earlier tonight. Might see it again. Graff. Over the middle, got his man. Touchdown, Dixie. Nathaniel Mahi gets in the end zone. And with 10:14 left in the half, it is Dixie 6, Park City 0. Point after coming up.
Great read here by Graff. You have another look at it. Watch the top of your screen, lined up in the slot. Sees immediately that defender gets turned outside. Knowing Mahi coming inside. No safety over the top, and that's an easy 6 for the Flyers.
I love that inside breaking route from the slot. And Mahi set that up so well with that jab step to the flag. High snap, got it down. And the kick is good. 10:14 to go in the first half, and it is Dixie 7, Park City 0. You're watching the 2018 4A semifinals on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. So after the touchdown pass to Mahi, see what the Miners can do. Take the kickoff inside the 5-yard line. He gets out across the 25. On the return was Brady Bauman. So now Skidmore and the Miners see if they can get something going on offense, Dan. Their biggest play has come on a trick play from Mark McCurdy to Pointer.
Yeah, they've struggled getting the run established. Well, I have unofficially 32 yards on the ground. I've tried to go in the air a couple of times, but haven't had a lot of success. You mentioned the lone completion on the day. Got to find some consistency here on offense.
And we'll start on the ground, and a nice gain on first down by Grant Warner to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
That's not a bad way to start things off on this drive for Warner. Set yourself up in a 2nd and short. Don't know that I love taking a shot here. You know, looking for a big play. Feel like I'd like to get a little more rhythm, but certainly would be an opportunity where you could.
Skidmore, quick set, fires, incomplete. That pass intended for Mark McCurdy. And it'll bring up third down and 4.
Yeah, this is one that Skidmore just misses. You got 2nd and 4. And McCurdy's running to the sticks. And this is a good duo. You'll see that throw a couple of yards behind. It's one that Skidmore just misfires on.
This one, it just seemed like he just got away there. Big down here for the Miners. Don't want to give back the ball to the Dixie the way they looked in their last possession. And now the second timeout of the half taken by Park City. 9:27 left in the half. We'll be right back. Out of the timeout, 3rd down and 4 for Park City. Big down for this team. Skidmore, pressure coming, rolls to his right. Gonna tuck and run, and gets the first down. Nice done by Jack Skidmore. Get away from that pressure and able to pick it up with his legs.
Boy, that's a gritty run that time from the quarterback, Skidmore. Just a junior, but you see pressure getting through immediately. Even brought a blitz from the edge and able to escape through rails. And then Skidmore able to find the sticks, turn it back inside, take the contact to keep the drive going. That's the kind of play that Park City's going to need from their junior quarterback to pull off this victory here tonight.
First down, go back to the ground. And on the carry is Brady Bauman. And he gets to the 43-yard line, a gain of 4, so 2nd down and 6.
Well, one of those where it looked like the run was going to go for a bigger play than it did. Great job sealing up that second level. But an even better job by Dixie. I think that might have been Ethan Kesterson coming up to make the stop. He misses that, and there's a lot of space in front of Bauman on the run.
Little inverted bone look here. As Bauman will now come up into the slot. And Park City, with the confusion on the formation, burns their final timeout of the half. 8:18 left. You're watching the 4A semifinal. The commentary brought to you by Utah Army National Guard. Park City uses their final timeout. 8:18 to go. 2nd down and 6. Skidmore fires near side, and that is incomplete. Broken up by Tyler Walden. Pass intended for Mark McCurdy.
Well, just some hesitation that time by Skidmore. Have another look at it. You see, and you can see him processing it. He comes near side, and I mean, that throw, there's just too much time. Initially, McCurdy's open, but so much time taken to process where to go with that allows the Dixie defense to recover and break it up.
Got to get going here. 7 seconds on the play clock. Down to 5. 3. Gonna run it. This is McCurdy. Comes near side. McCurdy now fires. And incomplete. Oh, wow. Pulled it in with one hand, but official says out of bounds. And that is a tough play for a wide receiver to make, from McCurdy making that throw, first of all. And then Jet Reed nearly pulling this down.
Boy, A for effort for Reed. I mean, you see this play doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And then McCurdy able to step up. And, I mean, does he get a foot down? Boy, that toe may have been across the line. It's hard to tell from that angle. The official right there. So you hope that he has, the ability to look up and down at the same time. But ruled incomplete. Probably the right call.
Mahi nearly, he touched it on the ground and able to pick it up at the 25-yard line. So it'll be Dixie Flyer football at the 25 with 7:52 to go here in the half. And I, like make two biggest statements here, Dane, but big drive for both these teams. One for Dixie to open things up, and two for Park City to keep things from getting to a two-possession game.
Yeah, especially with some of the struggles Park City has had tonight on offense. They've got to find a way to keep this game close and allow their offense time to score and move the football. Need their defense to come up here with a good stop.
Graff a little short on that pass, and it's complete for about a yard. As that is complete to Travis Muir.
Check down, but took Muir to the turf just to bring it in. Not much on the play.
2nd and 9. Graff's pass is complete. This one back to Travis Muir. Got to feel good. He has the first down at the 39-yard line. And a fresh set of downs for the Flyers.
Boy, maybe fortunate. I thought he may have had actually Mahi down the middle of the field open. You see Mahi right there streaking. I guess you had the safety there coming in. I didn't see Baines. So probably a good idea that Graff didn't listen to the color commentator.
1st and 10 from the 39. Skaggs. What am I doing? I don't know why I wanted to call him that. Nice throw to Kazier. Graff on the money. I'm an Angels fan. I don't know why in the world that went through my head. So 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line of the Miners.
We talk about Reggie Graff getting a feel for this game, Dusty. How's 10 of 14, 115 yards and a touchdown for Reggie Graff? And if you recall, I think 2 or his first 3 throws were incomplete, so he's really finding that rhythm.
Ooh, Graff right there, little airmailed. Luckily, it was too tall. Right there, 2 Park City defenders were looking for an interception. 2nd down and 10.
See Graff, and boy, I mean, that's contested. Good coverage on the play. Not a lot of room to work.
Single high safety look here. It'll be cover 3. As they're going to go with the jet sweep. Looking for the edge. And Schweitzer able to get a few yards on that carry to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Dixie.
A play we've seen a couple times. And, hey, when you mentioned, Dusty, the cover 3 look, nice job at the top there by Keenan, able to block the corner and going to force someone else to get off a block. You saw the safety come in late. But if you're relying on your safety out of a cover 3 to make stops on the run around the perimeter, you're going to have pretty good gains on the run.
That's Mahi in motion. And they're going to flip it out to him here near side. A couple of Park City defenders there, and Mahi gets to the 41-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 4th down and 3.
We've seen this play 3 or 4 times now already, and Park City a much better job defending it here. See a 3-4 look, and those backers able to get off the block, run to the ball, and stop Mahi short of the sticks.
4th and 3. Dixie's going to go for it. Got to get to the 38. 10 seconds on the play clock. I don't know if they're going to even run a play here. They might just take a timeout. And that's what Coach Monkers does. Takes a timeout with 5:37 left in the half. We'll be right back. Dixie, 4th and 3 when we come back. Dixie's going to punt it. I think probably the best decision here. Wobbly kick. Takes a flyer roll toward the 10. And initially, if you're at Park City, you're watching that ball go in the air, and you're like, all right. And it just takes a nice, I mean, we are at the University of Utah after all, where punts that are kicked like that just tend to go toward, especially if you're wearing the home colors.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it, folks. At Dusty Litster on Twitter.
It's just true. You get Ray Guy winners, my heavens.
Yeah. Of course, that is all. You know, I was going to say, yes. Those punts look a little different. Yeah. Those punts bounce inside the 5 and die there.
I'll tell you this: Louis Sakota started something here, and it's just continued to run. I mean, now you can get a radio show for being a punter at the University of Utah. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just because of how good they've gotten. So false start penalty against Park City. Going to back them up. It's half the distance. So back them up to the 3. So it'll be 1st and 13.
You know, as an Idaho fan, I kind of hate to see Utah punters succeed because we used to have the nickname Punter U, and now Utah's taken that from us. Yeah, we used to have to punt all the time.
And now another penalty. Can't go back much further. We're taking back to the 1.5 yard line. My favorite mark is between the yard marks.
That's what we're going to get here.
Yeah. First down at 14 after the penalties. And Skidmore just goes straight, as we deemed earlier, with Bingham, the quarterback dive, not sneak. And he nearly popped that one, caught Dixie off guard.
He did. Dixie a little late on some of the alignment. And Skidmore able to snap that, and boy, he was off to the races. A nice pickup there to get out of the shadow of his old goal line. I was just thinking, how big would it be for Park City to find a way to the half, trailing only 7-0, but they need some first downs here in order to do that.
Skidmore to throw, going deep. He's got McCurdy. Oh, and went off his fingertips. Mark McCurdy had that ball and just could not haul it in.
Boy, that close. This is the best throw of the day from Skidmore. And we mentioned McCurdy, his favorite target. Man, that is one that McCurdy will think back on. And not that it's a contested throw, but
yeah,
it's there. That would have been a huge play for Park City. Maybe something to ignite the offense here late in the half. An opportunity missed.
I don't know if your brain works like mine, but I would be able to skip that forward and see me running into the end zone and then dropping that ball. You know, it's one of those ones that's coming down. You can actually see that, oh my gosh, I got a chance here. And he just missed that one.
Another false start penalty coming up here, I believe.
So I was going to back him up, 3rd and 13 now. Park City just shooting themselves in the foot here. Penalties, and then their best receiver unable to pull that ball in. So 3rd down and 12, 4:45 left to go here in the half. I remind you, last week, Park City and Skyview was 0-0. Going to keep it on the ground here. Interesting decision to go on the ground, and Grant Warner gets to the 9-yard line, and it's 4th down, and the punting unit will come on.
You know,
Park City.
One of the things I'll add, so the left tackle or the left guard was having some trouble with some of those false starts. He came off frustrated. The coaching staff went out there, met him, just to calm him down. You know, so many times you'll see coaches get on a kid, and love the approach there on the sideline of Park City. Pull him off, help him breathe, relax, get back into the flow of this game as he's out there now for the punt.
This ball taken on a hop by Schweitzer. As Schweitzer gets to the 31-yard line. So a short field in front of Graff and the Flyers to get up two scores here with 4 minutes and 2 seconds left in the half.
And this will really be probably the biggest defensive series for Park City. I mean, you think of Dixie, Dusty. They have the opportunity inside the 20. They elect to not kick a field goal. They go for it on 4th. They don't get it. Turn it over on downs. They have the touchdown. The last drive they're moving. Park City makes a stop right around this point. The defense has been a bend but don't break. They cannot break right here. They get to the half, down 1 possession. It's anybody's ball game, but they got to get a stop here.
Graff going to go on the quarterback draw inside the 25-yard line down to the 21, and that'll be a 1st down for Dixie.
A designed run here for Reggie Graff. And, you know, talking with Coach Monkers before the game, he said, I really feel like, you know, my teams are able to succeed when we have a quarterback that can run the football, and we put that pressure to try to stop the quarterback run. And you see Graff that time use some nice athleticism, good read, great blocking up front to pick up 10.
1st and 10 from the 21. Graff fires to the outside and a little too tall. That pass intended for Miles Keenan. And it's 2nd down and 10.
Good idea that time, man coverage, top of the screen. So throwing it out, and really it's an area where there's not a lot that Jet Reed can do. But it was just beyond the grasp of the intended target and incomplete.
2-by-2 formation. Mahi in the slot at the top of the screen. It'll be Mahi coming near side on the fly sweep. Trying to pick his way, dives toward the 15-yard line, mark him down at the 16. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Flyers.
I was just thinking to myself before that ball was snapped, got to watch for Mahi. They go with him on the fly sweep. Nice read here, and you see him able to just squirt through a couple of blockers there at the end for a pickup of 5 and bring up a 3rd and medium for Dixie. I would also presume on this 3rd down, got to be aware of number 3.
Third and 5. Throw out to the bubble screen. Nicely done. It was Pointer coming up with the stop. Tyson Miller on the reception. And it's 4th down and 6, maybe even 8 now.
Watch Pointer. He's lined up on Mahi right now. Mahi comes up to engage with him, and look at Pointer. Able to fight that off, get off the block, and wrap him up for a loss on the play. Fantastic job by the senior Evan Pointer.
You've got to attack the edge there. Great job by Pointer, as you mentioned, Dane. And Dixie will go for it. 4th down and 8, 2:15 on a rolling clock. Got to get to the 11. And before the snap, we got a timeout. Timeout, Coach Bonkers. 4th down and 8. 2-by-2 formation here. Got to get to the 11. Graff, pressure comes from behind, rolls, looking, fires, tipped up and incomplete. Turnover on downs. It'll be Miner football at the 19-yard line.
Boy, I was half expecting someone to be able to catch that tip. I started looking for a Dixie flyer. Great job. You see the blitz coming from the bottom of the screen. That's Pointer. He doesn't get there, but Park City able to force Graff out of the pocket, a throw on the run, and well contested. Good coverage on the play. Is nowhere to go with the throw. And Park City, hey, they get the stop. Right now you got 1:58 left. No timeouts either way, so you can really take this ball to the half here if you're Park City with relative ease.
Skidmore fires, incomplete. Intended for Pointer. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
That one has me a little perplexed, Dusty. It's a one-possession game. You're inside your own 20, and you elect to throw. And nearly gift wrap one to Dixie. I think I would have been a little more in the camp of run the football. I still don't have Jack Skidmore with a completion today. I've got him 0 for 6. To put that ball in the air, I didn't see that coming.
Working from the Wildcat this time is Mark McCurdy. He's going to roll back near side, some pressure. Now McCurdy going to try to run, and he's caught up. Mahi, no, pardon me, that was number 22. Check that. That was Jake Staley coming up and getting the stop.
Able to pick up 3 yards, and a nice job by McCurdy, able to buy time. I thought he was in all sorts of trouble here. Nice turn up the field, keeping the eyes down the field, but just great coverage on the play. I mean, I'm scanning the secondary the entire time as well, and there just wasn't any room, no openings for Park City to throw the ball down the field.
3rd and 7. Down to 1:10. Skidmore going deep and incomplete. Was looking for McCurdy, and again, coverage solid on the back end there by the Flyers, and I believe it was Ethan Emerson along with Tyson Miller.
And this is just a home run shot. Trying to swing for the fence. Dixie well prepared for it, and the Flyers, Dusty, that offense, going to get the ball back here with some time still on the clock.
And the kick goes off the side of the foot of Mark McCurdy. So with 55 seconds to go, it's a 47-yard field in front of Graff and the Flyers. But give it to Park City. This defense has been stout. Has its back against the wall most of especially the second quarter.
Yeah.
And been able to come up with stops.
I'm still surprised they didn't run the football on that last drive. I mean, you've got an opportunity really to bleed this clock down. Instead, you give the ball to Dixie with 55 seconds to play.
Maybe the only reason is you felt like your defense has been doing a good enough job. I mean, they've been in short fields a couple times tonight, able to come up with stops, especially that first possession for Dixie after the interception. Graff rolling. Pressure coming. He won't get away. Down he goes. A whole crew of Miners got there, and I believe the last man is going to get the credit on the sack is Guy Gasperi, and lost all the way back to the 41.
Again, we see the pressure starting to get to Graff. Trying to buy time, but a beautiful job coming up that time from Grant Warner. Able to assist as 3-4 Miners team up to bring down Graff, and that'll be the play that'll really probably help keep this a one-possession game, barring a miracle here, though it looks like Dixie happy to concede.
Yeah, the whole graveyard shift of Miners able to get there. As Graff will take a knee and send us to halftime. We head to the locker rooms. It is Dixie 7, Park City 0. You're watching the 2018 4A state semifinal on live.ksl and desertnews.com with commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. And welcome back into Rice-Eccles Stadium. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, a Deseret News Rewind with you. 7-0, the halftime score for the Dixie Flyers, or in favor of the Dixie Flyers, and they're also going to get the ball to start here in the second half. A little short kick taken around, or just inside the 20-yard line by Schweitzer. And Schweitzer is hogtied and pulled down around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying wherever you're at. I'm sure it's warmer than where we are, braving the cold out here, have been all day. And it's been an interesting first half, Dusty. I mean, you look at this, and how about Dixie? I mean, unofficially, and I think that you brought our stats down with it. Dusty, I think they have like 16 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And just interesting on a night like tonight that really the success of the Dixie Flyers has been through the air. And has been surprised me a little bit given the coldness and some of the wind that we've had at times, though it hasn't been overpowering. The successes they've been able to have through the air today against Park City.
As Graff keeps on first down, gets crossed 35 to 36, and a late flag comes in. When I say late, I mean that is I wonder if it's going to be a dead ball penalty. And it was a Whitecap through it.
It might be a hit to the head.
And good catch there, Dean. Helmet-to-helmet contacts against Park City. So it's going to add yards to the end of the play there for Graff.
You have another look, and you see as Graff was going down, that linebacker coming in for Park City. Lean with the helmet to the helmet of Graff, and that's a big penalty here in this first drive of this second half.
You go from being at the 36-yard line now inside of minor territory at the 49. And a go fake the fly sweep, and it's Graff right up the middle, and Graff inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Dixie Flyers. Reggie Graff from 49 yards out, and Dixie goes up 13-0 with 11:20 left in the third quarter. Point after coming up.
Well, that'll warm up some of the hearts of these Dixie Flyer fans that traveled up north. What a read there by Graff, and a fantastic job of navigating through this minor defense right up the gut. And Reggie Graff, 2 plays, 55 yards plus the penalty yardage, puts Dixie in the end zone and the first 2-possession lead of the night.
A little emotion let out there too. As Kevin Williams comes on for the point after, and it's blocked.
Paul Baines burst through there like none other, number 24. Dusty, I mean, if he was touched, it was almost like a high five. I mean, he just, there was no resistance from that front, and 24 able to block the PAT, which would be huge for Park City if their offense can start to find its footing.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch this first drive of the second half for Park City. The running game is what they wanted to hang their hat on. Now, we hadn't mentioned this. Their leading rusher is not playing tonight.
Yeah, Dylan Bauer, who has had a great year. Dusty, their leading rusher, and talked to a couple of people up in the box at halftime as we were thawing out, and mentioned that he is not eligible for this game. And so certainly that's a big missing piece. And it starts to make some sense when you see the extent of this Park City offense. Obviously, Jack Skidmore, the junior, has played, has yet to throw a completion, but we've seen Mark McCurdy line up in the backfield taking snaps. And when you lose your leading rusher, you've got to find some other ways to try to ignite this offense. And Park City right now still looking for answers on the offensive side.
Right now, all the plays being turned in by the Dixie Flyers. They got down there. Noah Johnson getting the stop inside the 20-yard line to 19. So out comes the Park City offense. And you mentioned it, still looking for the first completion of the night for Jack Skidmore. And see if they can get something easy for him to get going. Some quick slant, something, maybe a screen, anything to get something easy for this quarterback to get moving. But also the other help could be just a good, solid run game. Only down 2 scores. No reason to start chucking and ducking if you are Park City.
You want to know one of the amazing things here, Dusty, is here's going to be an ineligible, well, breaking the huddle with 12.
Which is interesting, earlier in the 6A,
yeah,
we had a blatant
Pretty clear. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, blatant breaking the huddle with 12 men. I mean, it was the whole reason why they made the rule in the first place. You had 12 guys in there, you know,
Right.
who was leaving.
Right.
But they got him there. So 1st and 15 now, and now on offside. So it'll be negated.
How about the color matchups we've had today, huh? We had blue and white versus red and white. We had blue and white versus maroon and gold / black. They wore their blacks today. And then we have blue and white versus, I don't know, is that red and black?
Yeah,
or is
red
that
and black.
a maroonish?
Yeah, it's red and
Because it's
black.
kind of a, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, blue and red leading the day today here at Rice Eccles.
You know, I actually thought about that earlier. It was just interesting.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, given the rivalry and everything else.
Tomorrow we'll introduce a little bit of green in the 5A semifinal. We'll have Olympus here. We'll get some orange and, of course, black and yellow, which always looks so good.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. As they go fly sweep coming near side. Again, trying to find numerous ways to get things going. That's Paul Baines on the fly sweep. Gain of a couple of yards to the 21.
Dixie just so good at stringing this out. I mean, just watch the flow. And really, there's just no opportunity for him to cut it upfield. And the moment he does, there's just help. Always someone in behind their teammate to just mitigate the run that time for Baines.
Twins to the top of the screen, one receiver near side. And he'll keep it on the ground. Nice job of following his lead block on the carry for Park City is Grant Warner. And Grant gets out to the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for Park City.
You mentioned it. Able to follow a pulling guard, I think, well,
It was a lead
a
block.
single number.
Yeah,
So
Chase Johansson.
yeah. But it was a nice job. And just get that hand on the small of their back. Just help push them forward. Able to pick up 6 yards, bring up a 3rd and short here.
3rd down and 2. Got to get to the 34. Skidmore. Has nobody open. Going to tuck it and got it. Gets to the 35 where he's driven back there. So forward progress should get him to the 35-yard line. It does. Fresh set of downs for Park City.
We've seen Skidmore capitalize on a similar play like that back in the first half, right? The bootleg. And I mean, one of the things we've seen Dixie able to get some good penetration by their front, really only rushing 3, maybe 4 guys. They haven't brought a lot of pressure today. And that's really one of the main reasons why Skidmore has struggled throwing the ball. There just isn't a lot of room or open space to try to thread it.
You know, he reminds me of the Skidmore a couple years back.
Tyler.
With Roy, yeah, Tyler
Yep.
Skidmore. And we're going to go fake the fly sweep. And it was going to go a little, looks like a kind of a jet read there. But the same play that Graff scored on, but just got back to the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. But even throws like him. The throwing style and footwork looks the same.
I'm trying to remember if Skidmore wore 12. I can't remember. I don't have that memory. That was a long time ago.
Normally, I think it might have been number 4. I'll go back.
I was thinking 6.
You might be right.
I have no idea.
See Roy Royals tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got some fans tomorrow that could tell us.
Pitch it back and not much doing there. And the ball comes out late, but it was after it was blown dead as nothing opened up there on the run for Brady Bauman.
Bauman a little slow to get up here.
Yeah, he was taking kind of awkwardly. Look at this one.
Again, I mean, you just see there's just not a lot of room to work. And you see wrapped up down low, guys coming in up high, and so easy for ankles and knees to get twisted and turned in those types of situations. Able to shake it off. Good to see Park City really needs to be healthy and have all their athletes willing, able to contribute.
And we're going to have a first timeout taken here in the second half. 3rd down and 9. When we come back, we'll take it with them. 8:06 left in the 3rd quarter. Third down and 9. Skidmore, pressure coming, rolls near side, gets away from it. Can't find anybody downfield. Now lets it go, and he has his man right at the sticks at the 45. They'll mark him at the 46. That is Mark McCurdy, his favorite target, making the grab. And a big third down conversion there for the Miners.
Boy, and you wonder if that starts to give some confidence here to Skidmore. Look at the pressure he's under once again. And Skidmore able to evade it, thrown across the body. And a nice job by McCurdy. Had to go to a knee to make the catch, but able to do it. Pickup of 10, move the sticks, first down.
So first and 10 from the 46-yard line. McCurdy in motion. They're going to go with a little jet toss there and gets a yard.
You know, interesting here, Dusty. I actually thought they had an opportunity to double pass here. You see the toss back to McCurdy. We've seen him throw it. But wouldn't be surprised to see them work in a pass out of that type of formation and play. Just had one receiver on that top side blocking, but so easy to leak out a tight end, maybe to the backside or up the middle. Something to watch for here as this second half continues.
Second down and 1. Or probably second down and 9 after a gain of 1. And a carry cross midfield. And on the carry was Grant Warner. And it'll be third down and 5.
Have another look once again, following that lead back across the 50. When you look at this Park City team, Dusty, and trying to do the math in my head, I think they're at about 80 yards rushing, about 70. About 70 yards rushing in the ball game today.
2 receivers to the near side. Warner, the deep back. Skidmore fires, intercepted. He underthrew that ball, kind of pulled it a little bit. And on the interceptions, Tyler Walden.
Second interception of the day thrown by Skidmore. And this one, you mentioned it, underthrown. A little more on that, and he's got a great opportunity to get McCurdy. But just not enough behind it, and another turnover here for Park City.
It's hard to throw that corner route flat like that. Allow the cornerback to be able to get back in that play. So third down, or probably after the interception, 13-0. And nice job by Pointer. Or probably that was number 9. That was Gray Gasperi making the stop.
Yeah, how about 6'3"? Gasperi. See him lined up at the top there. No one pays him any attention. And he takes some offense to that, like myself at a high school dance. Just comes up and does a nice job of wrapping up Banuelos for the loss.
Nobody makes Dana Wallflower.
That's right. I'll show you.
Even if when we were in high school, we would have been listening to the Wallflowers.
Well, it was probably because I was on the sideline watching sports. So, you know, I get it. I get it.
You just might have been driving around with just one headlight.
Maybe.
Graff going to throw, going deep, and overthrows his intended receiver, Miles Keenan. And it'll be third down and long.
Park City started to do a nice job of starting to force the ball out of Graff's hands a little sooner. Being able to get some pressure on him. They forced him out of the pocket a couple of times. That time forces an early throw, good coverage down the field, and difficult for Graff to locate that accurately.
So Commissar putting pressure on. One of those ones, he's going to think he can get there fast enough. Third down and 13. And it's mishandled by Graff. Is still loose and picked up by Park City. The first big break of the evening. Brady Ballman able to jump on that loose ball. That was disastrous from the very beginning for Dixie, and it results in terrific field position for the Miners.
There was a team earlier tonight that some would argue was the underdog, wearing maroon and black, and they got fortunate turnovers on the plus side of the field. Can this red and black team do the same? Great job by Bauman coming up. You mentioned a low snap, really threw off the timing. Graff never able to secure that football, and as he's trying to make something out of nothing, turns it over.
So after the turnover, Skidmore looking for something big, going in the end zone. And it's intercepted in the end zone by Dixie, now bringing it out across the 20-yard line. And the Flyers answer a turnover by forcing another. Tyler Walden with his second pick and the third of the night.
This throw is incredibly tempting. I mean, we'll have another look at this. And you'll see the slot, top of the screen there, Pointer running the wheel. And this is just a risky throw. Just can't throw this football with that over-the-top coverage. Now it was the corner, Walden, who was able to make the pick, but had a lot of help there, created a really small window, and a fantastic play made in the end zone by this Dixie defense. Maybe some post-dinner plans, or some post-game dinner plans being exchanged. I'm just teasing. Don't want officials. We've got great friends that are officials. Don't want to offend them.
Oh, so the interception in the end zone, he can't return it out. They're calling it a touchback. Either way, he was down at the 20-yard line. So take your return yards off your stat books at home. So put the ball between the hash marks on the touchback.
Boy, and the first big break for Park City, they give it right back. An opportunity to get back to within one possession. And they're unable to take advantage of it.
5:04 remaining in the third quarter. Back comes Graff looking to redeem himself from that fumble. And go right up the middle. And a nice, powerful run from Banuelos. And that is a first down. Gain of 13 out to the 33. 1st and 10, Dixie.
Biggest run of the night for Banuelos. Dusty, how about this? We mentioned he was their leading rusher on the year. Before that carry, he had 5 carries for 2 yards. I mean, Park City's done a really nice job slowing him up. Good to see some resolve out of Banuelos, the senior.
Back to the ground, Banuelos, and like his other carries, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by that front. Getting in there and making the stop for Park City was number 62, and that is Penn Commissar.
You know, I know there are different schemes, but one of the interesting things, we talk about Park City, obviously they came into this ballgame winning 9 of 10. The one game they lost was to Stansbury, and they gave up 47 points in that ballgame. Interesting to see how they've dealt with the run tonight as well as last week against Skyview, and then got gashed by the Stallions. Again, I know there are different schemes, but it's just interesting to think about because they've been stout today against the run. They haven't given up much on the ground.
Just nearly able to break that one was Miles Keenan. As it is, it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Dixie. Nice job on that hook route, but nearly popped this one.
It was a nice job breaking that initial tackle, as you mentioned. And if Evan Pointer isn't there, he's got space in front of him. Folks, kids, that's why you always run to the football. Obviously, you trust your teammates, but got to be there to have their backs. Nice job there by Pointer.
3rd down and 2. Fly sweep. No, you're going to pull. Graff gets hit from behind and has the first down across the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, Dixie on the legs of Graff.
Nice job, able to spin around a would-be tackler himself. Pick up the first down. As right now, if you're Dixie, obviously you'd love points. But right now, interested in taking time off the clock.
And no goal fly sweep on that far side. And Schweitzer is turned back. Actually, able to get a couple yards on that one. There's a number of Miners there on the stop. Give him a gain of 1.
Doesn't it feel weird to call a game where a team is blue and white and we're saying Miners about the opposite? Like, I've almost stumbled on that a couple of times. You're right. Nice job pushing that ball laterally. And Park City able to come up, minimize the gain to just a yard.
Actually said he stepped out of bounds there at the end of that run. So 2nd down and 9, 2:44 left in the 3rd. Keep it on the ground here. Banuelos coming near side. And a nice carry to the 48-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down. Actually, it'll mark up to the 47, so 3rd down and 3.
Right now, Dixie is running, and they're running out of a lot of different formations, motions, some of these zone reads, and have gotten Park City a little twisted up in terms of their keys, where to look. Starting to see some of these runs become bigger gains. 5 yards, 13 yards, 6 yards. Starting to pay off here for the Flyers as the game wears on.
You get to the 44-yard line. And again, it's Graff up the middle off that fly read. And it is a 1st down for Dixie at the 42. 1st and 10, Flyers.
You have another look at it. You see the keep and some over pursuit by the linebacker. It was a nice job by Warner, able to regain his footing. But just that split second, the moment he starts to go outside, that opens up for Graff, and a nice job picking up the 1st down.
Again, going to go with that fly look. Pressure coming from behind, and this time he got him. Commissar gets in there and gets the sack. Going to feel good. His last drive, he had the same situation. Couldn't quite get there in time. He got him this time. 2nd down and 16.
Yeah, and I don't think Graff ever sees this coming. It's coming backside of him. You see 62 from the bottom of your screen, and boy, he gets there in a hurry. And that's one of the downfalls of some of those zone reads. It disrupts for a second, and sometimes that's long enough for some of those pressures, particularly around the edge, to get home to the quarterback.
Nearing a minute and a half remaining in the 3rd quarter. Fires complete inside the 35-yard line. And on the reception for Dixie is Miles Keenan, as slow to get up his pointer. And it'll be 3rd down and 2 on the nice strike there from Graff.
Good throw and great trust shown here by Graff. He's throwing that ball as the routes are still unfolding. Mahi's running underneath it. Knows Mahi's going to clear the area. Trusts that Keenan is going to stick it. And a solid gain to set up a 3rd and short.
A ball's coming out much cleaner out of his hand here in the 2nd half.
Yep.
50 seconds and rolling here. And they go Mahi on the fly sweep. And Mahi is going to be short. It'll be 4th down and 1 for Dixie. Nice job by that Park City defense. And imagine we're going to see Dixie go for it, not even going to hesitate.
Yeah, I would think so. It's been a good drive for him, especially on the ground. I know Mahi got stopped for just a gain of a yard there. Wouldn't be surprised to see a zone read come back here. Trust your junior quarterback to make the right decision. Kind of a 2-for-1 deal here.
Surprised to see Park City come with 2 double A gap blitz.
Yeah, they're showing it.
And right now Dixie a little discombobulated.
And I think we'll probably get a timeout here.
5 seconds on the play clock. 3, 2, and now the timeout. Oh, but actually, it's the end of the quarter, too. We head to the 4th and final quarter, a low-scoring affair. Dixie leading Park City 13-0 in the 4A semifinal. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Start of the 4th quarter, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you. From Deseret News Rewind here on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. Dixie looking to extend their lead. 4th down and 1. It's Mahi on the fly sweep. And he won't get there. Nice job on the defensive end. Brady Bauman, both ways, has been a big contributor tonight for Park City. That's the biggest play he's made.
Oh, for sure. This keeps Park City in the ball game. Dixie converts here, and you have grave concerns about Park City's ability to come back. But look at that. I mean, you have Banuelos on the outside trying to get that block on Bauman, the outside linebacker, but is just never able to fully engage it. Bauman able to shake it off and make a big tackle to keep Park City's hopes alive.
Now can your junior quarterback keep the short-term memory? 3 interception night for Skidmore, but he can erase a lot of it with a nice drive here. 3 seconds on the play clock, 2, and now a timeout from Park City. Their second of the first half, and we'll take it with them. Park City football when we come back. Out of the timeout, and after the turnover on downs, Skidmore, pressure coming, fires to the flat. The pass is complete, and slipping down is Brady Bauman. And it'll be a gain of 5 yards to the 44-yard line, or pardon me, 39-yard line. But nice job of getting away from the pressure.
Yeah, good recognition here by Skidmore, and a nice catch made by Bauman on the near side. You mentioned that short memory. A nice completion there for Bauman, trying to start to get into that feel, get this air attack going for Park City.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Just gets it off as the play clock is running. Skidmore going to have to tuck and run, and Skidmore still going. Cross midfield, and it'll be 1st and 10 Miners at the Dixie 49.
Some nice elusivity here from Jack Skidmore, huh? Look at the pressure immediately. Nice job there getting on the inside by Takao, I think the sophomore, number 18. And then Skidmore able to get around a couple of Dixie defenders across midfield.
First and 10 inside of Dixie territory. Skidmore gonna tuck and run again. And Skidmore out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. See where they mark him. Mark him at the 44.
Starting to see Skidmore really starting to take this game into his own hands here. Quicker decision, looking downfield, keeping the eyes downfield, but also keeping it ready to throw in case someone opens up. We mentioned Dixie, they haven't brought a lot of extra men today. So dropping guys in coverage. We've mentioned tough for some of these receivers to get some separation and forcing Skidmore to try to do some work with his legs, and he's taking advantage of it here these last couple plays.
McCurdy at the top of the screen. Trips near side and just gets it off as the play clock is winding down. Skidmore trying to run away from pressure once again. And Skidmore takes a big hit. How about coming up and making a stick? Jackson Reyes. And just getting back to the line of scrimmage is Skidmore.
Had one receiver to the top of the screen, and it was Mark McCurdy. We talked about this duo. They've played together forever, and Skidmore looks for him a lot. You see him looking back that way, and McCurdy, this point, kind of stops. Doesn't come back at all. And not a lot that Skidmore can do on that play other than just try to pick up any little inch he can, and there's just nothing there.
Better that he didn't throw it there either. That's a long throw. McCurdy now in at quarterback. Rolling near side, McCurdy pressure. He rolls back, he's got to get rid of the football, and down he goes. The ball is loose and recovered by Dixie. Trying to find some way to spark something, and Connor Walden. How about the Walden brothers? That's the third takeaway for the Waldens, the fourth from this Dixie defense. And there's a flag on the play. It might be a sideline penalty.
No red and white on the screen, but a new game for Park City. Where's Walden? Got to be able to account for some of these kids, and that's a great job coming up and forcing that ball out. Just nowhere for McCurdy to go. And you could see that early on. It's like, oh, you got to get rid of this ball. And has to eat it. Ends up being a disastrous play for Park City.
Kalnohi was the one that forced him back. Nice job of keeping the edge. So back comes Graff in the offense at the Park City 38-yard line. Play action, Graff going deep over the middle. Got a man. Dixie touchdown. Josh Kaiser. And the sudden change leads to a quick 6. 10:06 left in the fourth. Dixie now up 3 scores, 19-0. Point after coming up.
Love the aggressive nature of Dixie on this play. You just get a turnover, try it deep, man coverage, no one over the top, and Kazir, woo, that one's too easy.
Got a man running on late here for the point after. Play clock at 5. And they don't get it off. So back him up 5 yards, but.
How about this line in a semifinal? 14 of 23, $176, 2 touchdowns for Reggie Graff. Not a bad showing.
Yeah, and frigid temperatures when you come from the hot desert. You leave last week, I think last week's game was played in like 75-degree weather or something like that. Tonight, with the wind chill factor and the frustration factor, about negative 402.
He also has 57 yards rushing, and by my tallies, the rest of the team has accounted for about 43 yards rushing. So he has been the guy, has taken a lot of the pressure upon himself, both in the ground game and the air game, and has helped lift Dixie to the lead.
20-0, 10:06 left in the fourth quarter. Dixie leading Park City. You're watching the 4A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Welcome back, Rice Eccles Stadium. 10:06 left in the fourth quarter. And our third game looking a lot like our second game. Dixie taking advantage of opportunities and have built a 3-score lead as they're looking to get back to the state championship game.
Good news for Dixie, bad news for Dinosaurs everywhere. It means the Flyers are going to have to make the 4.5, I'm sure by bus, probably 5-hour trek again next week. But it's a sacrifice they're willing to make, Dusty. A chance to play in a state championship, bring another title home to good old St. George and Flyer country.
Absolutely. This means you get an extra day out of school. Leave on Thursday. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Park City. Go fly sweep near side, and a penalty flag comes in late. That's most likely a hold against Park City.
You know, that penalty flag came right in on the helmet of a Dixie defender. Where's the targeting on that play, huh? I'm saying that facetiously. I don't want anyone taking us seriously on that.
Yeah, well,
that's some serious accuracy from the line judge, though.
The holding penalty on Park City will back them up. It'll be first down and 20. Take another look at it.
Right there. A little off the ball, but just trying to deal with some of these Dixie linebackers. They've been all over today.
Misdirection play going to the top of the screen, and Bauman on the carry gets to the 14. Need to get to the 30, so it'll be second down and 16. The hard part for Park City tonight, Dane, is they haven't been able to establish anything to be kind of the calling card of this ball game.
Well, and there's been some, for lack of a better term, discombobulation. I mean, how many times have they come out in a formation trying to take advantage of a matchup and they've got to call a timeout due to alignment issues or clock issues? It's just been a little bit off. I mean, you can tell the timing and the organization in this particular match. And I would credit a large part of that to not being 100%. It's been disruptive to what they've tried to do tonight. A
lot of latent play clocks as well.
Yep.
I mean, even that play there was a 1 second left in the play clock as the pass was completed to Mark McCurdy. So it'll be third down and 6.
And we mentioned, this isn't a Park City team that's thrown for 3,000 yards this year, but if you're Dixie and Mark McCurdy at this point in the game has 2 catches for 20 yards, you got to feel pretty good about what your defense has been able to do.
Skidmore eludes a sack once again, and it leads to another third down conversion. The most effective play tonight has been McCurdy on the scramble as he picks up another first down with his legs. 1st and 10 Miners at the 32.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and he's had to do it a lot. You see a little delayed run coming at him, able to evade it, and then some space in front of him, and a nice job using angles and some of those cuts to create a lane to pick up the first down and move the chains for Park City.
Schwalger had him dead to rights and couldn't get to him. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for Park City.
And the biggest thing for Park City is they haven't had to bring a lot of extra men tonight. Typically they're bringing 4 as they do here.
Floats this one up, and that was a dangerous throw, but wide of the mark. Okay, it'll be second down and 10. Whenever that ball hangs up in the air, you're giving every defender about 3 more steps to get back to that ball.
Yeah. Couldn't tell if this one just got away from you. You notice the underneath route there, thought was open for a second. And this ball being thrown a good, 3 yards outside the field of play. Not sure if he was able to put that one where he wanted.
Play clock down to 10. Skidmore fires to the outside, and that pass is complete. Mark McCurdy with another grab to the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Park City.
And this is the offense that, if they were able to execute like this at an earlier point in this ball game, I think it would have gone a long way in their hopes tonight. But we mentioned didn't have a completion in the first half. A little shaky in the second half, a couple of picks, trying to force balls deep and into tough areas that were defended. But this is the kind of offense that had Dixie well aware of what Park City had the capability of doing.
And that pass is incomplete wide there of McCurdy. It'll be second down and 10. And we haven't mentioned, we talked about Skidmore being a junior, but this Park City team, I'm not trying to end this game in any way, shape, or form. McCurdy's a junior. Bauer, who we're not seeing tonight, the leading rusher, is a junior. You got a lot of young talent on this team. Evan Pointer, the tight end, is a senior. But when you look at a lot of the weapons here, Warner is a sophomore, Baines is a junior. A lot of these guys' names we're calling tonight are underclassmen who will be back next year.
And it's a scary thought for the region. This was a co-region championship team this year. And really the job they're doing to build this Park City program, a lot of credit to this entire staff. Starting to put things together. And so much work to do that with the program. I had a friend text me who played high school football in this state and said, when I played Park City, no one knew about them. They weren't real competitive. And we've talked about their postseason history. It's been a while since they've been here. The staff doing a fantastic job of really laying the foundations for a successful program at Park City.
Absolutely. In the 90s, not a lot to speak of, including when Coach Gary Anderson was the head coach. That Gary
Wow.
Anderson. Back to throw. Skidmore going deep, looking for his favorite target. Did he get his foot down? McCurdy, no. And if you watch top 5 plays, you know that McCurdy knows how to toe tap. We had him in the top 5 just a couple of weeks ago, just unable to get that toe down.
Let's see if we get another look at this. This one is awfully close. Just trying to paint the boundary. Does McCurdy get the foot in? No. Good call by the official. I thought it was closer than that at real speed, game speed, but line judge right there to call it out.
But back to your point earlier, I mean, throughout the 90s, we weren't really there. 2000, they had a running back, Brandon Rogers, who was an absolute stud. Took him all the way to the semifinals.
Well, if I recall, even Jared, too, didn't get him to the semifinals.
Going deep, lost that one up and batted away. Nice job of getting back and making the play. Is Dixie's number 47, Harrison Beezer. And that was 4th down. Turnover on downs for Park City. It'll be 1st and 10 Miners. Or probably 1st and 10 Flyers. I finally did it. That royal blue on royal blue finally got me. No, but you're right. Jared, too, they lost the quarterfinal.
Canyon.
Yeah, Snow Canyon. Yeah. Adam Heaney, don't call me Adam Timo. Dylan Gokreitz and Kurt Henderson, I believe, was the quarterback of that Snow Canyon team that upset Logan and then made their way all the way to the championship game that year.
That's back when we were young, Dusty, and both of us still had hair on the top of our head.
That was true. We were at that game inside the 40-yard line. And Dixie right now looking to put the death blow in right now. Second down and 5. Fake the fly sweep. And it'll be about a yard short getting down to the 35-yard line. Was Reggie Graff. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Dixie.
Of course, we don't know who the opponent will be next week, but I'll tell you this, Dixie, their defense has been really good all year long and has come up with stops when they've needed it to be. It's going to have to be stellar next week because 2 high-powered offenses in that other 4A semi, that game coming up tomorrow night.
As Weston Benuelos picks up the first down of the 30-yard line. A fresh set of downs will move the chains for Dixie. Yeah, they're going to have to bring... Now, they know all about Pineview.
Right.
The 2 original schools in St. George. And, but Orm's a whole new beast. I mean, you're dealing with probably the best wide receiver, arguably, I say, in the history of the state of Utah, in Puka Nacua.
You also got a pretty good running back who they are familiar with, Sewell.
Yeah.
And Cooper Legault, who's been one of the most efficient offensive players in the country the last couple of years. So...
And not to mention, Sewell's more of it was the defensive MVP of Region 10. And so.
Fair, yep.
And he actually plays more defense than he does offense. He doesn't come off the field in defense offensively. He's a spot guy. As Benuelos gets inside the 30-yard line.
Is that something they've changed? I saw Orem week 1. Mm-hmm. Saw him run the ball a little more against Bingham. I know you saw him just two weeks ago?
Last week. I saw their second-round game against Mountain Crest. Yeah. Second down and 6. Trying to get to the outside is Mahi. A couple nice moves, and then finally the long flowing locks are thrown out of bounds.
You know, one of the interesting things, talking with Coach Monkers before the game, one of the things he said is we don't see an offense like Park City's very often. And, you know, the way they've been able to lock it up, I think speaks to the ability of this coaching staff to adapt a game plan. And they're going to have to be pretty adaptive because what they saw tonight will be nothing like what they see next week, regardless of who the opponent is.
3rd down and 6. Fake, actually, give to Benuelos, and Benuelos only gets, I shouldn't say only, gets inside the 25-yard line to the 23. It'll be 4th down and 3 yards to go for Dixie. Yeah, and you can't really, it's hard to prepare for a team like Orem. Those are elite athletes, especially when you talk about Puka Nakua. Laga is an elite passer, but it's other guys on that team. Rocky is hard to prepare for as well, but really Nakua is the, I don't know, he's the one guy that you're not going to be able to, during the week, say, all right, you're going to be Puka Nakua for this week in practice.
Yeah, I just remember, what, was it an 85-yard screen play for a touchdown against Bingham? When you throw a screen 85 yards against Bingham, you know you got some talent.
Absolutely. Timeout on the field. 4:04 left in the 4th quarter. We'll take it with them. Out of timeout, it's 4th down and 3 for Dixie. They've been working it on the ground and see if we're going to have Graff on a 2-way go here. And it'll just be straight run with Graff, and he has the 1st down inside the 20-yard line down to the 17. It'll be 1st and 10, Dixie, as they look to just milk this thing away as they head back to the state championship game.
How about a little fun fact for you, although Dixie Flyer fans will probably have a different definition of fun. Since 1970, the Flyers have losing records against both Pineview and Orem. 2-3 against Orem in that time, 20-25 against the Panthers.
And the argument would be is they stole a lot of Dixie Flyers when that school was built in Washington. Put a man in motion. That was Mahi, and hand off to Benuelos as he gets to the 15-yard line and shoved back. It'll be interesting to watch realignment, what it does. I imagine you're going to be seeing Cache Valley and St. George staying in the 4A ranks. Where Orem goes, only the UHSAA knows. But imagine Park City will stay 4A as well. This is a realignment year. Next year we'll have new people and different classifications, most likely, some region shuffling. And it's always what you do with St. George schools that becomes a big topic in those conversations. As Benuelos gets 2 more yards to the 13. But not a bad way to return if you're Coach Blaine Monkers. Remember, he was the head coach at Dixie, won a state championship, took the offensive coordinator position, or a coordinator position, I can't remember which one it was, at Dixie State. After coaching change, he was left without a job, came up north, and took over Riverton for a couple of years. And with the job opening, with the coach taking the new job at Timpview, it opened it up, and Coach Monkers went back down to St. George. Who could blame him?
First thing I asked him was, how's it feel to be home? And he just laughed and said, it feels great. And, you know, he knows a lot of these kids, obviously coming up in that program, even though he hadn't really coached them at the varsity level prior to this year. You know, it's great for him to be able to return home. And, you know, it's very few coaches that can walk into a program their first year and lose 1 game. And, I mean, it speaks to the stability of the program while he was gone, the continuity there, and his ability to walk right back in and keep things rolling as they were under Coach Stokes, who's now at Timpview. Make no mistake, this Dixie program, I mean, it is the program in southern Utah, and it's shown very well here today in the semi.
4th down and 4. Going to keep it on the ground. Schweigert looking for the edge, has it. It spins toward the end zone. There is a flag on the play. Schweitzer, pardon me, I said Schweigert. Schweitzer Gets inside the 5, but I think it's coming back on Dixie.
You said Swigert?
Yeah, I did. I saw the Jack Swigert.
Dusty's like an astronaut here.
I saw the Jack Swigert statue yesterday at the Denver airport.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Messed up with the gate B. Got off the tram, got right back on. So back him up. It is a holding penalty on Dixie, so it'll be 4th down and a little bit longer than before. But they have not shown any propensity to kick field goals tonight. Tough holding call. I can only imagine that goes on a Muir of anybody. So 4th down and 14. Mahi in motion, going to give it to him on the fly sweep. And Mahi gets to the 14-yard line. It'll be short of the yard to gain. Turnover on downs. It'll be Park City ball with 57 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. But before we get going, Dane, I mean, really for Park City, the reason I mentioned earlier, all the juniors, they're a year ahead of where I'm sure they thought they would be.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you look at what they did in their region, the one loss to Stansbury and winning 9 of their last, I don't think it's 9 of the last 10. I don't remember what it is, and I'm too cold to get the phone out to check it. But, I mean, you look at the run they went on in the last, 3 quarters of the season, and making a run here to the state tournament. Don't forget, I mean, they knocked out Mason Falslip and the Skyview Bobcats, who were undefeated. There's a lot of things to be excited about for Park City football. What a catch.
Oh, what a play turned in by Mark McCurdy. That is a 1st down to midfield with 48 seconds left.
But, I mean, Dusty, you're right. A lot of their key guys coming back next year. They've been in this game now. They've gathered some experience. They understand what it's like. It is different. And so to be able to gain that experience, a lot of guys returning next year, watch out for the Miners.
Back to throw, going deep again for McCurdy. Makes the adjustment, and it's incomplete. Nice defense there by Tyler Walden. And here's the thing, I just counted about 8 seniors. That's it. 8 seniors on this Park City roster.
And you know the great thing? Winning breeds participation.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you look at this roster, Dusty, the size of it is not near the size of Dixie. Next year it's going to be large. It's going to be bigger. Yeah. And, kids are going to see what Park City did this year, and they're going to want to be a part of it. So participation numbers goes up, talent goes up, depth goes up, and it's a great thing for Park City High School.
Skidmore fires over the middle, off the hands of Jet Reed. He couldn't quite pull that one in, the senior wide receiver, one of the 8 seniors on this team. The seniors here tonight are Jack McGee, Evan Pointer, Guy Gasperi, who's made a couple plays tonight, John Flinton, Jet Reed. See, there's not that many, so hard to find. Ryan Francis and Penn Kosamar, who had that sack earlier, Joseph Marcella, make up your 8 seniors. 32 seconds left here in the semifinal. Rolling near side, Skidmore fires incomplete.
And it says something about this Dixie defense. I mean, you look at that play, 3 routes on the play, and Dixie's only bringing 4. I mean, there's a numbers mismatch, and it's been that way for most of the nights. The reason why we have the result we have right now. But I think part of that is some of the overwhelming of being here in this stadium. It's another one of those things you can't simulate. And dealing with the Dixie team that's incredibly talented. But make no mistake, Park City's on the up.
4th down and 10, Skidmore going deep, and that goes out of play, and that'll be the final play Park City's season as Dixie will take over, come out to take a knee with 18 seconds to go after a turnover on downs. So Dixie's season last year, undefeated, including a win over Lone Peak. Wins over Lone Peak and over Springville. Springville was a semifinal team in 5A. Lone Peak was a semifinal team in 6A. And they lost in the quarterfinals last year, and Hobbs Nyberg went down, lost at home to Mountain Crest. This team bounces back. Coach Bonkers returns. Bunch of new players on this team in major roles. And the Dixie Flyers are going to the 4A state championship game. They pitch a shutout to knock off Park City. And the Dixie Flyers will be coming back to Rice-Eccles Stadium next week to take on the winner of Orem and rival Pineview. Dane, your final thoughts and our Utah Army National Guard player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it was close through the first half, but in the second half, Park City, a couple turnovers, some miscues, set up Dixie, and, give a lot of credit to the Flyers. Park City hung around. Dixie stuck to their game plan. Reggie Graff had the big 40-some-odd yard touchdown run that really separated this game. Unofficially, by my stats, I think he accounted for about 3/4 of the offense for Dixie tonight. Pretty easy call. Reggie Graff, our player of the game.
Congratulations to the Dixie Flyers moving on to the 4A state championship, but also congratulations to the Park City Miners on making it to the semifinals and a terrific season. For Ryan Rasmussen, Vince Francis, and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching the 2018 4A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital and also the Utah Army National Guard. So long, everybody. See you tomorrow. 5A semifinals and the 4A semifinal, Orem versus Pineview, right here on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com, your digital home of everything high school sports in the state of Utah.